Everyone, this is our project for the winter and spring term. This is a lab website and the underground project. My name is Om.
My name is Adithya.
My name is Ray.
And my name is Val. Um, so a little bit of about the Petty Underground project. It is supposedly a central place for everyone to access and look at resources available made by students ourselves at Petty. And in the website, a student can find many different types of resources, especially study guides, cheat sheets, and sample problems that was made for students by students so that everyone can have knowledge about how the class specifically works, not just the subject. And they understand the way that previous students have studied and the tips that they can give so everyone can study more efficiently.
So how we kind of made it, we use this program called Flutter. It's kind of like an open source language currently, and we use it because it's like a program that like uses one central language, is able to like branch out to other devices. So if we make an application on Flutter, we're able to build it on any kind of like device you have, whether it be mobile, PC, iPhone, Android, Samsung, whatever device you kind of have. Allows it to like for every petty student to be able to like reap the benefits of the petty underground. And so most of our winter term was like devoted to actually learning the language and learning all like the intricacies of the language and just learning how to be able to use it to its fullest potential, because we saw it as a really good opportunity to kind of like learn a new language and be able to like kind of like export it to every petty student who can like use this, because we know how diverse the petty student body is and we want all of the different petty students to be able to use the petty underground.
And so it was also an open source language. So along the way, it kept updating, and with that, you get to see the different libraries. And I mean, that was also a hassle for us, but it's something that proved to be pretty interesting in making the code.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the fact that it is one language allows us to code it pretty easily because it's very similar to Python or Java. And also it is like coding in like the iOS like system, whereas there's only one language like Dart. Yeah, so it's pretty similar. And except the fact that it can be exported to devices beyond iOS, including Android, Windows, and every other systems.
So what is currently on it? So currently we have study guides and like kind of like filled out all of these classes right here: AP Bio, AP Tech, UC, AP Chem, AP Push, AP Computer Science, line 1 through 4, and AP Physics. But we're also trying to get like other applications running. They're still in development because we have like Val Senior Assassins website. I was trying to do well, that passed unfortunately, but I was trying to do surveys and kind of like ratings for teachers and classes to see what petty students would want. I know Adithya was working on something else. So we're all like kind of experimenting on this central petty underground website and like bringing in a lot of different things. I know Ray had a lot of influence on the Latin 1 through 4, and he made like translations and flashcards for like petty students to use on the petty underground website.
Yeah, we'll show it in a demo.
Yeah.
After the presentation. Yeah, so Ray, you want to talk about it?
Oh, okay. So at first, me and Bao had different ideas for the website. He wanted to build a petty underground that has multiple services, such as like study guides for different courses, and also like information about different classes here and about teachers. And I wanted to build a website that's mainly dedicated to petty Latin students, because unlike most languages, Latin, informational Latin is less well documented online. Usually the libraries and the databases are only accessible to professionals. And for amateurs and individual high school students who want to learn more about Latin, it's hard for them to access information anywhere. So we want to organize information and then encapsulate them into a user-friendly interface, which is the website. But because we're both developing a similar website using similar structures, we decided to combine our efforts together into this single website. And then I branched this website off using the templates and the existing structure to make the new Petty Latin website, which is an ongoing project right
now. And the second project that we're working on is the ChatGPT integration. because recently there's been a lot of new applications that has been integrated with ChatGPT, such as it's like Messenger, WhatsApp, Line, or even like apps like Dictionary or like applications to like buy and sell stuff has been integrated with that. And it's due to the fact that they have released the API to the public. And I've been trying to work with on that and integrate that into our project so that the website, instead of just being a study guide, it becomes a guided support system for students to also ask questions. But some of the problems I've run into is, first of all, I was new to this area of security and cybersecurity. So when I put the API key and push it on GitHub, it was exposed. And then I had to like find a way to hide it. I got support. I got some guidance from Tomas, but I wasn't really able to finish that yet. And secondly, I want the ChatGPT API to take data from the website itself, so that it's more of like a support based on the system that we've created instead of a support that is by themselves, like ChatGPT, like the website itself. So that is another thing that I want to accomplish, and it's still in progress right now. So now Ray would show like a live demo of the website.
Well, he's connecting. So what was the hardest thing to do on this project so far?
I think for me, it was continuously updating with different libraries, because like you would use a certain function, but then that would get outdated really fast because it kept updating. And then you would have to go find what the next most up-to-date function to use or library to use would be.
So is maintenance going to be the biggest deal here? Like after you graduate, will it be broken by the fall?
No,
Oh,
because the only problem that we expect to happen is that the Flutter library updates. And some of the functions change, but it should not be a big deal because there should only be like some of the very specific functions that will be updated. And it's usually just updated with a different name so far.
And also, because it's like an open source language, there are coexisting libraries that basically serve the same function. And perhaps some are better than others in their performance, but it doesn't mean the existing thing won't work. Perhaps in the future, Flutter might like update a series of new functions that can create a navigation wheel or build certain pages, linking them together in an easier way, but our website can still stand.
And also it's like one language, so as long as a person has exposure to Flutter, they should be able to read very well because it's like very similar to Python and Java. So this is the demo that we have with all the websites we listed in the presentation. If you click on this, it will show the study guide written by one of the students. So yeah, this is mine. And the thing about this is that it is very specific to the class. So it's not like a multi-variable class in college, but rather like a class designed for students by Mr. Korka, taught by Mr. Korka, and we as students have found a way to study that for that class more efficiently.
It can also direct you to external sources. Like I think for one of them, you can click into a link and then it directs you to a Notion website that contains additional information.
Yeah, so for example, for this website, is the AP Computer Science study guide. And if I press on this, there's a link that shows up. And this is a more detailed version of the study guide, so it's like a subsection, except we could outsource it to other outside sources, or like sources like AP study guide by other people that we found useful.
Cause
So,
some of these are under contract, like, if we buy a curriculum, then we have to tell them we won't put it out to the world.
yes,
So if it's petty only, it's one thing, but if it goes out into the world, then we would have issues.
right, so this is one of the important things you need to deal with, is
Yeah.
that we need to make sure that everything is made by students, and it does not violate any copyright rules. So, yeah, so this is computer science. Linear algebra is the same. Yeah, linear algebra. You have A push, which is a particularly big one. So it has like 114 pages. We could also integrate like Zoom functions or like search functions in the website. I think Ray found like ways to like call that method. So we could add that if we need to. So I think for the A push one, it's like a long website, so we could do that for it to be easier. This is the big O cheat sheet, which use a different method compared to other website. So this one we included images and we put the text in the code itself instead of calling it from other like documents. And I worked on formatting it, so kind of look at this and we could do anything we need with it. But the reason why we did the document is that it's easier to change. And it shows, like when someone change it, it shows on the website, instead of we having to go into the code and change it. So this is like the images that we use. This is another way, it's a drop down menu. So it's another way to format it. So we experimented with different ways to format the website and change as needed. It's the document. There's another way as well. This is a chemistry. We worked with trying to make a senior assassins website.
Called the game now, right?
Yeah, so this is one of the functions for the Latin website. So it's to create flashcards, and we put the Latin word here, and then we have the English translation, and we press add flashcard, it will show up here, and then it's kind of like the basis for like websites like Quizlet or like quizzes or any other website. It's just the same thing. Yeah, so we've been experimenting with that. Yeah, so that is a demo of the project that we have right now. And if there's any other people who are interested in the project, we can help them get used to like the whole platform and like the way we add stuff.
Can you just show us a quick overview of your code? I only have a minute.
Yeah, we do only have a minute.
Sorry.
So this is our code. So of course you can always on the left is the structure of the website. Of course, you can always write everything in one class or in one file, but that's like not ideal. So we used to work from this single name, which is like the first file the system automatically gives you. And then we slowly extended to everything else, all the pages, and also including here an assets folder that we made. So for any asset, such as icons, such as study guides, PDFs, any file types, you can put in assets, and it is directly accessed in PubSpec. So
Is there a front end loader or do they manually put it in?
oh, you need to manually put in the names of the assets. But loading in an asset folder is actually very easy. You just basically drag a file into a folder and that's it. And then you add the directory here. And then Flutter can access that asset anywhere in code. And we have pages and also tools, such as the flashcard tool, the bitcard tool. So there's also a toolbox folder that we have. So for any functionality that can be used repeatedly throughout the website, you can add in a tool and you can call it anywhere in the program. And
It's kind of like command-based programming. So we have like different pages, but we also have different commands that were created in separate files. So that is kind of like the way it worked in robotics too. And yeah, you want to show the main page,
sure, yeah.
like
So
the rail navigation rail.
yeah, so the main page now is just like a placeholder. The actual structure, like, that connects all the pages together is in my home page. My home page is basically two pages. One page that contains whatever content we're showing, and the other page that only contains the navigation rail. And one page is smaller, squeezed by the other, so the other takes as much space as it needs. And the other and the navigation rail is effectively like minimalized in space. In the actual website, you can see, so on the left, this is one page, on the right, this is another page. And by clicking pages on the left, it has a change notifier feature that tells Flutter to update whatever is on the right. So by integrating these two things together, the navigation rail and the page on the right, you can build something called a navigational. Yeah, we can build something called a layout builder, and it contains navigational rail destinations. So by clicking to any button, Flutter knows which navigation rail destination you know, and then this navigation this destination links to the page above. So AP Calculus BC is one of the pages we made. So there. So in the actual website, when you're clicking on AP Calculus BC guide, Flutter first sorts whatever page you clicked in the navigational rail. And in that rail, it tells you the destination, tells Flutter the destination, like the page destination you can go to. So it travels to that destination and updates the page on the right. So, like in a nutshell, you click anything on the right, Flutter sees whatever thing that is, learns its destination, goes to the destination, and opens the associated page on the right.
Another thing we want to talk about is the static and dynamic pages. So for example, for this page, if you calc BC, if you go into the code, you see that the function, there is another one class called state.
Yeah.
So that is included when the website needs to have the content dynamic, meaning that we press a button, it changes it. So for this one, we use the state function, and then if you go to the website, if you press on this thing here, it will go down. So that would change it. So that is the reason why we made some of the pages dynamic and some of the pages static, because for static pages, it's like study guide. Just press on it and it just displays it and nothing changes. But when you want it to be more like interactive, we do the dynamic pages. Yeah, so that is all.
So there's a lot of features that makes the website run faster and basically saves time when people are clicking.
Okay, I am so sorry, we're out of time, right? In my head.
I want to sit down.
Make sure.